What's your level of concern on Freddie right now?
Well, listen, we had practice yesterday. He went through full practice. So I thought he'd probably be going tonight, but so I'm expecting it pretty soon to be back. Yeah.
When you're watching film and you're seeing Luka get dirty regardless of who the opponent is, how do you game plan for a guy like that?
Yeah, I mean it's really been impressive, first of all, and takes a lot of game planning, right? Lots of schemes, deciding what you're going to do with them as far as who's going to cover them. They're very good at getting who they want him to play against, guarding him, right? So that's one of the big scheme things that you got to try to figure out. Certainly a lot of face-up, basketball, a lot of pick and roll. He's taking it into the low block, I think. I don't know for sure, but it seems like more than ever to me as well, either on post-ups or just taking it down there off the dribble. So there's another scheme. What do you do when he starts backing you down? And then who's going to guard him? So it's multiple schemes and it's multiple defenders, and then you got to try to execute them.
How do you do that?
Well, I mean that's usually, like for us, we always talk about our defenses, are we giving the energy and effort to play hard, right? Are we moving and ball pressuring and getting deflections and things like that? That's like our first priority, and then the second thing, are we executing the game plan on a given night? Nights like tonight, it's a little bit longer, and usually that makes it a little more challenging to execute. But I don't know, we gotta hope our guys are ready and got through things and can execute it on the fly tonight.
You talked last year about when Gary first got here, you had that conversation with him about how you want him to score and play hard defense at the same time. How do you think he's kind of evolved?
Yeah, he's getting there, Dave. I think that he took the challenge. I think as far as effort, for the most part, I think that for me, that's the thing I'm always watching with him. I think there's the night, and not just him, but any of them. There's nights when sometimes that pep in their defensive step is not quite there, right? So that's what we're always watching with him to make sure he's again playing hard and getting into the ball. I think he feels like he's a pretty good one-on-one defender. I'm not so sure how he's viewed around the league that way, but I think he has a lot of confidence and is not afraid to go guard certain people. But I still think it's a work in process here for him. I think there's some willingness and want to get better, but he's got some ceiling to get to yet, I think.
Where have you seen the most development from Scottie Barnes since his rookie year?
I would say that the biggest thing that I always keep referring to is his physicality. He seems to be getting bigger and stronger and using that over the course of the games at both ends, right? So being big and strong is one thing, but being able to kind of mounts people off you and put the ball in the basket. I mean, you guys watch that here every night, right? But that was the thing that probably impressed me the most, is that kept growing in the season last year for a rookie, when you're kind of thinking, are they going to shy away from the long schedule and the intensity and all that stuff? And that was a good sign. And then just the rest of it, I think his skills are just getting better, right? He's becoming a better shooter. He's becoming a little bit better ball handler. He loves to pass and is starting to find some more of those situations because we've got the ball in his hands a little bit more, things like that. And I think those skills will just improve kind of naturally with games and years.
Do you feel like Pascal's also getting stronger in that conversation, even just from last season, or is it just some more efficiency on the court?
Well, he's definitely playing much more physical at both ends. Right? I think that's probably, if you're going to ask me the first question, what have you seen in Pascal? That's the big difference, is he is playing with physicality when he's got the ball in his hands. He's taking it, to spots and where he wants it to go, and I think that probably wasn't always the case, right? He was getting rerouted at other places that he didn't want to go, and now he's trying to get it kind of where he wants to go, and that is because of some more balance and more composure and some just more physical strength.
He's getting old. Sorry, go ahead, Ken.
When it comes to your experience with Dwight Powell over the summers, what have you seen from him specifically when it comes to going to someone you need to give the team a boost with energy?
Yeah, well, first of all, our experience with him is he's really grown with us. Like he's with Canada, I'm talking about, right? Like the national team. I noticed a big difference between this past summer and the summer before, just in his kind of nuancing the FIBA style game a bit. I kind of thought maybe 2 summers ago, again, he was coming out on the wrong end of some of that. I mean, I always say this about FIBA, like if you get to some point in the game, the 2 5-men on both teams usually square off. You know, they're just, you know, there's a lot of physicality there. So I always thought that he was kind of on the wrong end of that the first year, and then I thought last year that wasn't the case. So he nuanced in working with that. But you know, as far as with these guys, I think he's going to give you a lift with energy. He's always going to screen. He's always going to be on the glass. I mean, he's going to do those little things no matter if he's playing 6 minutes or 36 minutes, right? And I think that, and he's got experience, I think that's incredible, you know, and you're always going to need these guys with experience as the course of the season, you know, matchups, injuries, heavy schedule, whatever it is, and I think he's always a guy they can count on to do that, lift them energy-wise and do a lot of the dirty work.
With Pascal, you talk about the physicality. He's getting to the line at a rate he hasn't, you know, done before. I mean, what goes into that for you?
Well, again, I think he's I've said this to you probably too many times, but I'll say it again. He's just playing with great composure and command and kind of tempo, right? He's going when he wants to go, where he wants, and again, he's when guys are trying to stand him up, he's handling that, and he's still on balance, he's still composed, and then he's got, you know, he's getting it in the areas where you get fouled, right? He's getting it near the basket, and he's using you know, he's got the one spin move to the right, and he's got the little turnaround now to the left, that he's kind of got his move and his counter move, and I think he's, you know, getting some guys off balance on some of that stuff. But it's his balance and composure, I think, of making the right reads and just having command of what's going on is getting him to the line.
I mean, from an offensive rebounding standpoint, Christian Koloko seems to have a level of awareness, but what type of conversations do you have with him ahead of a game like this, where, you know, with Luka post up, and of course he could be relied on for a lot of help?
He's done a pretty good job, you're right, about awareness, about, you know, it's not like, I know what you're saying here, so it's like a lot of times when that guy overhelps, and, well, who's blocking his guy out? You know, if he's leaving too early or swinging at things he can't get to, and maybe he's affecting the shot, but his guy's laying there, right there, putting it in. Like, we tend to err on the side of overdoing it. Like, I've asked him to just swing at everything right now. Like I want him to take more swing. I figure the more swings he takes, the more blocks he can get, and we need some rim protection, which we haven't had for a long time. So I'm trying to just tell him to go for everything, and now I'm working on the rest of the guys to help him out, right? To come down and he, you know, like help the helper, you know, type of, you know, he goes to help and somebody's got to have to clean his guy up a little bit. It's tricky tonight. This is another one of these things. Luka will bait you into like he's going to shoot it, and then here comes the shot blocker and he's firing it to somebody for a lob dunk, right? So it'll be good. It'll be a good test for Christian out there tonight. See if he can make the reads.
Are you concerned at all over his fouling at all, or was that just kind of him being a rookie and learning to clean that up?
I'm not that concerned. I mean, I wish he wasn't a rookie and wouldn't get those calls and maybe not foul as much, but he'll probably start figuring it out. Again, I'd rather him be sticking his nose in there constantly and getting those calls rather than backing away from stuff.
What have you seen on film out of Christian Wood since he's been in with the Raptors?
Well, he's been great. It looks like they really like him and they really use him, right? And I think that especially when Luka's off the floor, they almost feature him some. Seems like he's playing super confident. They got a few little set plays that they run for him that nobody seems to be able to guard. He's posting and playing well, either scoring or passing. Open floor, shooting the three. I mean, he looks like he's getting better and better every year and more confident You know, instead of just being a guy that's hanging on in the league, he looks like he really belongs and is an impactful guy in this league right now. Yep.
Coach, what have you thought of the job that Jason Kidd has done, particularly with the Mavs Western Conference run last year?
Well, Jay Kidd's a good coach. We've been through him a lot when he was at Brooklyn when I was you know, in the playoffs. So we've done a lot of battles with him. I think he's got a really unique style, and certainly unique with what he does. You know, with Doncic here too. I mean, like, that's not. I think maybe that isn't something people appreciate. Like, I'm watching all this film of them and seeing all these unique things he does with him. And that takes somebody that kind of knows a lot about what star players see, right? I mean, he's really good at, like, putting this guy in positions to be as good as he is. I mean, he's awesome, right? But I think their coaching staff and Jay Kidd are really good at helping him be awesome. Yeah. All good? Okay, everybody enjoy the game.